thunderous break again. And like I said, really not saying you have to have all the big break like Hachi or SVB, but I don't think it hurts to have that, to be able to do that. And Emil's certainly one of those guys that can turn it up. Emil, he got a bye and then won in winners round 2 against Gregorio Sanchez, which is Guama, I believe. Is that correct? Is that Guama's name?
Yeah, Gregorio Sanchez.
That's right. And
Gregorio Sanchez.
so that's a nice win at 9-4 at alternate break. In the winners round 3, he lost 9-7 to Seaman Corral. Then went on to losers round 4 and beat Tai Wang 9-4 to get into the final 16. So just nicking this ball and laying him on the 3 maybe.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to get behind the 3 there.
That's kind of like jelly if you do, you know what I mean? But just kind of leaving the 2 in a real ugly spot. Felix has had that safety after the opening break is all he's really had, so try and keep him to where he's got to definitely earn that first one. And there's really nothing I like here. I mean, you could play a rail first, but you could whiff the ball doing so. Or you could kind of come off the 2 and go behind the 5-9 maybe.
Yeah, nothing really natural. And, of course, with the 2 ball being so close to the rail, not a lot of maneuvering you can do there.
Yeah, you can't really cut it much. The rail first is, probably what Efren does. He's so good at it, but there's a lot you got to control. It is pretty natural to go behind the 5-9, though.
I think that's what Felix is going to entertain here.
Good thing is, again, the 3's way up, so if he does leave him a look at the 2, probably doesn't leave something to get position. Maybe a cross side bank or something like that.
Felix is going to go at it. He was indicating he wants to hit right before the side pocket. Soft hit.
Beautiful.
What a great shot.
Really, really good. He's got 2 rails. I like up top 2 rails. Not sure why you wouldn't go 2 cushions, up to the short rail, side rail, and then at the 2, you're kicking towards congestion. I think he'll see it, I think. This is a much harder way to get much speed. The line's there, but...
Yeah, and also, Jeremy, the object ball won't be in your vision.
Yeah.
Whereas you're below the ball shooting the way you're suggesting. I like your shot.
This is surprising. I mean, normally you'd want to go to the 2 rails there. You can make it. A lot of good things can happen. Now he's kicking the 2 towards the 3 ball, which may work out. Great hit. Just did leave a cross side that Felix will shoot at.
Yeah, a lot of times, kicking at a ball like that, the easier hit, I mean, it's kind of 50-50 on that hit there, but I agree with you, Jeremy. There's a lot of congestion down here. He could have made the ball or he could have come out a lot better, not leaving this open bank shot. Felix is going to take the bank on. Fine execution there. I don't want to say this is really the last really puzzle to figure out here. It just needs to fall good on the pink. The purple 5 does go to the bottom left, so kind of out of the woods at this point.
Yeah, he should definitely get on the board, get back to the breaking end. He started without a bye. Felix did. He beat Michael Callahan 9-2 in the first round. Then in the second round play, he beat Boris Ivanoski 9-8. That match was a close one, obviously. Then he went to winners qualification, where he beat Thorsten Holman 9-6. So quality wins in all kinds of variety.
Yeah, and speaking of variety, I mean, that's really what we have here. You know, globe-trotting professionals and some local heat as well. Really a nice display of pool talent. Nice control there.
Yeah, it's always an awkward shot. Just go an inch more so it could really hurt. Close enough now he can handle the angle, still command the speed coming across. May kill it just a little bit. It's got to slow down, doesn't he? It's going to be awkward for the righty.
He's reaching for the bridge now. I think he'll still be okay, but like you said, a little awkward. Lefty shooter would have gotten down on this one already.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very handy with the bridge, so key to these, shooting with confidence.
You provoked an interesting question, Jeremy, I wanted to ask you about. So, you know, a lot of times you see the bridge get used in these very critical points in a match. Do top players ever practice with the bridge? Or is that just when it happens, it happens?
I mean, I can't say that I ever dedicated practice as much, but I know these guys have. I know that's something that was definitely, you could tell. I mean, just obviously you can tell at some time or another they put in a regimen of practice with the bridge, and maybe still does every now and again, but I think it's probably easily forgotten about, Mike.
Yeah. I feel like it comes up every so often, but, you know, just using the different type of stroke there, you know, overhand versus underhand, and sometimes you're stretched out a little bit more. Definitely an awkward stroke at sometimes. Nonetheless, Felix Vogel on the board. It's going to be 2-1 here at the In the Box Open. And this is a 10K added WNT ranking event. We're here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. I am Mike DeMarco from Ship the Cash, and joining us, Mr. Jeremy Jones.
Yeah, Felix didn't quite get the connection on the first rack. Did make the one, but it was a lot of clusters on the side rail. Had to play an awkward safety. Excuse us, the referee's doing a few tables at a time.
And we see our on-site referee, Mr. John Lehman. Top professional in his own right.
Yep, right here in the New York area. Never thought, I mean, of course you don't think about those kind of things a lot of times, but I never really imagined how much the jump cue would come into play in 9-ball pool as it has these days. I mean, I'm just looking around, 3 tables, guys got the jump cue out.
Now, do you think that the jump cue introduction has really kind of pushed the kick back a little bit and maybe taken away some of that knowledge there?
No, I don't, just because the guys today are all about studying and doing better and everything else. Actually, I think as a whole, they're better kickers today as a whole as they were years ago. Now, I think it does hold them back at first. Like Gorst, for instance, Filler, for instance, you know, they won tournaments without being the best kickers at all. And but now they're 2 of the best, absolutely. But they've learned it and wanted to learn it. But with that tool they have until they learn it, you certainly can't blame them pulling out the jump cue, right?
Yeah, right. I can make the ball versus hopefully get safe.
Yeah, let me learn how to aim later. Let me use this Uzi at the moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally get that.
yeah. So, but now, you know, as a whole, like I said, the kicking with the pros, I think overall is much greater. And not saying they do it better than the best did back then, but more often, more players grind out games using the kick shot, and of course the jump cue as well. That's the thing about the jump that has evolved, I think, as much as anything, is the safety and the control behind it. See a push out there from Vogel, so hasn't gotten the offensive going off the break shot yet.
Just trying to manage some of the service issues here, Jeremy. Technology sometimes failing us, so seeing if we can get our internet service provider out here to give us some help. I mean, right now we're okay, but right off the bat, a little choppy.
Look at this shot. Look at that shot there, just going wide open, really. I don't think he was trying to land behind the 8. Maybe go 2 rails into the 8, maybe, but or is that not the 8 up top left? Is that the 5 ball, maybe?
Yeah, that's the 5 ball up there, yeah. Yeah, he was just going all pocket there.
Yeah, I guess next time you better leave him on the rail, right?
Yeah, Emil's feeling really, really good. And like I said, I spoke with him before he started today, and he said, I'm feeling very good. I said, is there anything that you're concerned with, certain shots, anything? He said, nope, I feel great. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, like I said a few years ago, we had to pick out guys we thought were going to, you know, maybe not win the U.S. Open, but make some real noise soon. And he was definitely one of them that was in the small list of names.
Yeah,
he still is, really.
Yeah, and Emil, he takes his craft real seriously. You know, he's not just trying to be a good pool player. He wants to be the best. He wants to be at the top of the peak. So, you know, he's taking care of his body, his mind, trains himself very well.
You know, we talk about sometimes guys are too nice, you know, as far as not, don't take that the wrong way. Nice guys are the way to be, but, you know, just overall the feeling you get from them, they're too nice, but don't feel that from Emil as much anymore. Very much business-like.
Yeah, you kind of have to be that, you know, boogeyman to your opponent. Like, oh, it's this guy again. I don't want to play that man.
Yeah, whether they, you know, they're trying to do the same thing to you, right? Your opponent is, but the mind, it's hard to avoid knowing it's going to be tough sledding playing this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hard to, you're not going to lean on it, key on it or anything, but it's in the head a little bit. So just a little more pressure. Nice shot there on the 6, kind of used the pocket to be able to hold the cue ball.
Yeah, you can see the follow through, just super clean cueing. Emil's really here to play. And should he make it through this, the winner of our match here will play the winner from Lucas Fracasso-Werner and Nathan Childress. And that'll be at the 2 p.m. round. Well, what a result for these final 16, Jeremy. Real nice.
Oh, yeah, a lot of great matches. And, you know, we lost some other great players as well. Moritz Neuhausen didn't make it. It's the biggest name that didn't make the final 16. But I agreed with him yesterday from what I saw. Because, kind of staying with Moritz and John and them guys, and he played really well to get beat. That's just how tough it is. He'll tell you the day before now when he won 9-8 and had a couple close matches that he didn't play well at all. But yesterday I thought, from what I saw, he played really well. Just Sergio Rivas played a little better. And I can't remember who he lost to last night. I think it was Dominic, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Dominic. And he took his seat in the match that's happening now with Petri Mäkinen. Moritz takes those losses very well, and he's not he's a realist. Mm-hmm. He says, hey, the guy played real good on me. I did the best I could. It wasn't rolling for me, so kudos to him. How can you not get behind a guy like Moritz, though?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's so many of those guys out here, and, of course, there's only so many that can win the events. But as far as, like, guys that are just, okay, he's got it all to do really well, I think the two we're looking at now is like that. Dedicated, doing the right things.
I can agree with that. And it looks like our top two seeds overall at this point are Jason Shaw and Naoki Oi. We've seen that numbers aren't all in the proof there.
Yeah, he's smashing them. I mean, just watch how quickly two ball's going to dress up or go in. There you go. Look how quickly the one exits the rack. That's how you can really tell the energy into it.
Yeah, direct line to the side pocket.
Yeah, just quickly gone.
This table's looking okay. He's going to have to figure something out with the purple 5 ball. I mean, it goes into the side pocket where the 2 is now. Perhaps that's where he tracks it. Maybe even taking on a combination if that is warranted.
Yeah, I don't know. I might take a chance here running off the 2 ball. He has to go to the left, correct?
Yeah, it looks like he does have to go just a bit to the left. He could hit it square on, but he's against the rail.
Okay, so maybe the 3 goes?
Yeah, the 3 does pass the pink.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
it's definitely the shot. Gonna have to work for the purple, though, off the pink 4.
Now, do you think maybe he tries to leave himself just, straight underneath the pink, come underneath? I mean, that's kind of risky playing it that way.
I think if he got to where he could go 3 rails by the 8 with top and side, I think he could. Trying to come short for the 5. But he's got to make it nice one here. He's got to shoot this and get to the rail or ease it. Now he's going to have to work the cue ball very straight on the pink. So it's the type of shot, you could end up short easily because you don't want to get snookered. Good thing for him is he's a tall man. He can reach this pretty easily. Are you just trying to draw up the rail here?
I think that's what his approach is here. You're going to have a lot of control here. He does have his extension on the cue now.
Yeah, the hard part here is you got to have control, but you got to swing the cue at the same time. You got to get into it, so just trust what you're doing, really. No, he cheated it to come outward. Real smart.
Look at this.
Real heady play.
You want to talk about control, Jeremy? He's perfect.
Wow.
In his mind, there was probably never a doubt.
Yeah, well, once he was trying to draw towards the 5 and 9, once he kind of pounded it off the rail, just use his speed to where it's not too far away from the purple, no matter how it really comes out. But like I said, if you could have seen some of the shots yesterday that he made, I know, you could be a little more confident when the pocket's a hair bigger, but these were super difficult shots that most wouldn't even shoot at.
And you see him using all of the pocket on the purple. Yeah, very accurate shooter. I'd say if he keeps playing like this, though, Jeremy, he's a contender for sure.
Yeah, well, the break looks pretty repeatable and great spreads.
Looks like he can draw just straight back. One rail to the 8. Yeah, this is elementary at this point. And Emil continues to play very solid. And again, we are down to our final 16. And this is single elimination, so every match you see today will eliminate one player from the running. So you'd be hard-pressed to try to choose the winners of some of these matches, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone breaks a little different. You can always pick one that you feel breaks a little better, but that doesn't have to show up. All these guys very capable, no matter what their breaking, kind of attack on the break shot is. Been real high quality pool.
Definitely agree with that. As the New York fans trickle in, fill up the rail, enjoy some of these matches firsthand. And again, this is the In the Box Open. We're here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. Now, Jeremy, I noticed that they were dictating the 2-ball on the wing or at the base of the rack. Now, is that a new introduction?
No, that came out at the beginning of last year.
Okay.
Kind of went over things with some players and obviously what we're seeing, and we see that's the most random overall. Is the corners there? I mean, the one in the back, if it doesn't get kissed, kind of goes 3 rails towards the side, but does get kissed a lot. When it's in other places, the guys can play more of a speed and a certain side to kind of maintain that shot on the 2.
Gotcha. Now, the 2-ball usually being dictated to go to the bottom of the rack, but I've never heard of it going to the wing.
Yeah, well, the wing, sometimes it get kissed in, and sometimes it'll go straight in, really, but it gets banged around quite a bit. Watch the one, how quickly it comes off the rack.
Center pocket.
2 balls open again. Is he going to have a pocket? He is. And that wasn't even the best connection of his yet. He's, got a great spread.
Yeah, really just one nice opening shot here, and the rest is right there. Looks like he's just going to float this one rail above the side pocket, play the 3 in the bottom left corner. I really like how long he stays down before he delivers the cue, Jeremy. He's got that long, kind of just stays down on the ball, waits till it all lines up, and then delivers. I really like that. Kind of waiting for the trigger, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's, most of the great players have it pause at the cue ball. Some, it looks a lot longer if they don't take as many pre-strokes, but most pros anyways don't take a lot of pre-strokes. You just want to feel that nice rhythm once or twice, you know what I mean? So, which he didn't take any. Not going to be happy with that one. I think he still attacks. Both corners have their value. I think it'll be the upper right. Thin one. Real natural with the cue ball.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. He's going to look at it again. As Felix Vogel looks on, anticipating his next inning at the table. Remember, with winter break, might be sitting there for a bit.
And that's the thing, if you just can regroup, you know, easily, not stress, not panic, understand the pocket's on your side. It's not, you know, super tight. Notice he didn't just get down after making that mistake. He knew he was going to try and cut it in, but he took a little extra time to clear the mind.
I'll be honest, Jeremy, if this was still alternate break at this point, I think we would definitely be seeing a different score line.
Yeah,
inch by inch.
Going to be 3 breaking runs, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but with this winter break format, of course, very much more likely to see those comebacks where a player can get ahead quite a few games and the other player dominates right back. Right now it's Emil Gangflot. Straight back with the cue. And he's going to put another one up here. Very, very solid. All right, 5-1 now. Yeah, Felix getting on the board in, I believe it was rack 3. But since then, it's been the Emil Gangflot show. I haven't seen much from Felix other than his tableside posture. And Emil continues perfect play.
Yeah, so many good players. I mean, you got to stay patient as well. It's very easy to get a little sideways if the score gets 5-1, but chances are that's going to happen in these winter breaks a lot more often than you would think.
Well, Emil's definitely got the break dialed in at this point. And, I mean, if he keeps breaking the way he is and getting a sight at that lowest ball, going to be really tough. Really just dominating at this point. Again, looking for the one ball square in the side pocket.
Yeah, cue ball's tracking nicely. The 2's coming towards that side again. It's going to lay up. 3's a little funny, but he can cheat the pocket on the 2 a lot of ways, so we'll see. Maybe a kiss shot on the 5 that's open. Maybe the 3 even plays. I think he'll figure out a way to get something started on the 3. Boy, what a devastating break, Mike.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not sure, and I'm definitely going to be inquiring about this, but it seems as though he makes a minor adjustment based on where the 2 ball is. You know, he's still hitting the one ball square in the pocket, but it seems like the reaction of the balls are slightly different based on whether the 2 was on the wing or at the base.
Yeah, well, this tells us the 3 goes, so that could be really bad news for Felix.
Yeah, there's not a ton of traffic for him to go around here. This is looking really good for Emil.
Yeah, this is where if he has a full pocket, this shot becomes super easy. But having to draw it, if it's a half pocket, could be missed. No, he had the full pocket. He even hit it to the left side of that corner, his left. Yeah, and you got to change gears mentally a little bit, I think. You know, going from alternate break the first 2 days, the early stages, understanding what it's about now. And not only if you're at the table like Emil to keep the gas on and understand how dangerous the break shot can be for Felix, but also if you're in the chair like Felix is, he's got to really be able to maintain and stay focused till you get some kind of chance.
I'll tell you, that seemed risky to me playing that in that way, but apparently he's very confident. Comes out great.
I think otherwise he had to follow a long ways, 2 rails above the 7.
I mean, just a slight miss hit there. He could have been hooked. But again, Emil feeling very good out there. Looking very good. He's kind of keeping a very nice pace, good rhythm.
Yeah, and the ball like that, it's been checking nicely with the spin. Makes it a lot easier. Didn't have to really draw it much, just stun it with some left.
Very nice. You know, all young Felix can do is look on as Emil continues his onslaught. I mean, you can't really say Felix did anything wrong here. A poor break, right? That was it.
Yeah, I mean, really nothing.
He played that great safety. You know, returning on the 2. He got the cue ball behind the 5-9, and he seemed like he was pretty good out there, but
how easy he moves the cue ball. There wasn't much angle, and you got to understand when the angle is very slim and the object ball is that far away from the side rail, that's where it's hard to move the ball and actually becomes a little missable trying to do so. But I think that's where that advantage of that height and that arc you have with the swing, the stroke. People always say, what's the advantage, shorter or taller? I don't even think it's close. I think a taller man in many ways has bigger advantages.
I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that, Jeremy.
I mean, if you get crazy tall, you know, I've seen some things that could hamper, you know, physically, but that 6 foot to 6'3" is, I think, pretty good. 6'1" now.
Yeah, they're going to take just a quick minute. So we're going to take a quick word, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of this one. Emil Gangflot, Felix Vogel. Be right back. All right, it looks like our players are ready to continue. And again, Emil Gangflot leading this one 6-1. Really just been dominating the last 4 racks. Felix had it at 2-1. Just a poor break off in rack 4. And again, Emil has been able to repeat that one ball square into the side pocket every time. Really just has it dialed in. And look at this result here. Seems like the balls know he's supposed to get on that too. Really just finding a way to position each time. I mean, it looks like he can still make this. I think he's just going to roll forward or soft draw. Depends on the particular angle. I think he'll just nip it back just about a foot or so. He did opt to go forward. In either case, again, Emil taking advantage of the winter break format for our final 16. Coming right around the rails here. And he's overcooked this. He's overdone this just a bit. All right, so Emil able to recover from slightly overrunning the 7. Just getting it by that jaw, but he's perfect on the 9 ball here. And Emil going to go 7-1 ahead here. The player in the chair. do the same thing in return. And Jeremy Jones joining us once again. Jeremy, Emil continuing.
Yeah, a lot of the same, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really got that break dialed in, and mentioned before, it's almost as if the table and the balls know that he's supposed to get a shot at the two. One ball fires in and the two ball just dresses up nicely. Ironically, a lot of the time it's going right in front of that left side pocket for him.
And of course it doesn't require the big heavy break to run these kind of racks, but you almost feel like you need that break to have that chance to do it. I mean, we've seen racks run by all kinds of different cut breaks, you know, with this format. But it seems like the ones that can put the packages together are the ones that can hit them a bit harder. Get better spreads, make a few more balls, and just, I don't know, just like the old days, I think. You know, you get to smoking them on the break, the energy you get, and feel kind of really like you can't be beat.
Yeah, Emil's got to be feeling that way. 4 away from victory here, as Felix Vogel still looking to get onto the table, but Emil really just got it in a chokehold right now.
Yeah, the cue ball, I don't think it was going to scratch. The 2's been over the side every rack, it seems like.
Yeah.
Now the 3's a little funny, but I figure he's going to try and find some route to maybe get on a 3-4 combo, is it?
Yeah, it looks that way.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
looks like he can go right around the 8 and 7 to me and come back to the center of the table. He's looking between the 8-7 and then back between the 7-5. I thought it was natural just to chip it in and go around the 8 and then around the 7 as well.
He's going to have a look around. I'll tell you, really touchy, though, going around the rails like that, and you see him indicating where he anticipates the cue ball to go.
Yeah, if he tries to go between, that's what I was looking at, this line here. Is that doable? Now, the good thing is the way the 2 sits, he can chop it and come one rail in between the 7-8, but does that get you anywhere? You know, to the top rail? I don't know. He's certainly going to attack one way or another. But.
Yeah, he's not going to relinquish anything here. Really giving this shot the attention it deserves, as he does not want Felix out of the chair.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's not possible to get snookered, but I think if you get by the 8 and just take your chances with a little speed, you might catch a piece of the 7, but I don't think you're going to get snookered unless you catch it real full. Man, 9-ball pool, you got to gamble, that's for sure.
We've been seeing with a lot of the movement on the rails, ball's going a little long, so, you know, after he gets by the 8, as you're saying, he should be able to open up past that 7.
Around the 8, I thought it was hard to get snookered, but he kind of hit it with too much high. If you watched the cue ball when it hit the rail, kind of arced a little bit. Straighten the cue ball out. Got a jump here? Or is he is snookered, correct?
Oh, yeah. No, he can't see it at all. He is going to go to the air, try to jump combo. Just needs to avoid this 7 here. makes the connection, and Felix Vogel springs out of his chair. And he's ready to roll. And we get to see him try to dominate for a bit. Open table. Jeremy, what do you think is going to happen with Felix here?
He's got a little tricky one to start with the 5 the way it is, near the 7, the 6, and 6 is not bad, of course, but the 9's near it, so that can sometimes cause a problem. I think the 5-7's pretty easy shot overall, but again, if you get a little off on it, position on the 5 after the combo could be a little difficult. Taking a lot of time here, I think, just because of that 5-7.
Just making sure he's properly aligned and mentally prepared to take on this run out. 7 balls on the table. Yeah, I was going to say, he might want to try to play short side here. I feel like that's the best place to be. Naturally run out the remainder, but of course very touchy. Rolling by that shot line. I'll tell you, it takes a very special kind of talent to be able to sit in the chair for, 5 or 6 games and, get out there and still have some kind of feel, for a shot like that.
Yeah, and see how much he can work the ball off this. I don't think he can draw it above the 7. He's going to have to kind of stun 2 cushions by the 7, I think. Or he went inside. This is where that 6 and 9, I'm wondering, going to work out.
You can say that again. That could have gone bad. A couple of ways there. Narrowly avoids the scratch. Doesn't touch the 6 ball. Could have been behind the 9 here.
Looks like he's going to keep it simple, I guess. Could stun a few cushions by the 8. Get a little closer to the 7. Could come 1 rail out, but I kind of like the stun, I thought. 2 cushions. Just a soft 3rd cushion. Yeah, like that. Oh, he's hit that pretty hard. Does that have to slow down? No, he's good.
Yeah, Felix seems like he's still very much mentally in this match. And again, winter break format now, Jeremy, so this is his opportunity to kind of repay the favor to Emil. And Felix looking like he's prepared for this one. He's hesitated just a little bit.
I kind of like stun drawn over and back out like that. The speed is good enough. Speed's been off a little bit in this rack, but that's almost to be expected. He hadn't shot a whole lot. But he's getting through it.
He's really only had a couple of strokes with the cue stick before this rack. And again, it's remarkable to just be able to play the way he does. And when you get back to the table, really just, kind of regain that feel, that back arm. It's 7-2 now. Emil Gangflot still 5 games ahead. And again, you are watching the In the Box Open There's a 10K added WNT ranking event. We're here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. I'm Mike DeMarco with Ship to Cash, and joining me is Jeremy Jones. We're down to our final 16 players in the event. This is day 3. On site, referee Mr. John Lehman, a professional in his own right. Again, lots of quality play around the room. The winner of your current feature match here will take on the winner from Lucas Fracasso Werner and Nathan Childress. They're playing on a neighboring table over here. Still plenty of iron in the field. All right, here we go to the break. This is rack 10.
Yeah, you put a little more on them as well. The 2 ball's going to agree with the 1 deposited in the side. Looks like it should be okay here. I mean, the 3's next to the 4. The 5's a little on top of the 8. But really no worry. Just get kind of straight on the 3. You can play a stop shot there and cut the 4 in and come 2 rails for the 5. There's a lot of ways. I think he has a hint of an angle here on the blue, too.
Yeah, I agree, Jeremy. I think he's okay. But you're right. There is not really a pressing issue at the table, but he's still got to figure it out, and he's got to execute. A couple balls in close proximity. Felix just got to be feeling great to be out of his chair and missing the 3 ball square into the pocket. And he's going to have Emil return to the table here. Big mistake, Jeremy.
Yeah, surprising miss. He, hadn't had a whole lot of time at the table, though, and got the cue ball where he wanted, just missed the 3. Emil's really got to make one good shot here to get something natural off the pink to the purple, and then he should extend his lead or get back to that 6-game lead he had. Yeah, he's pretty good. Now he can come 2 cushions. You can see the right side of the table very clear. Has no problem reaching.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, Jeremy, the height being somewhat of an advantage, and got to agree with that sentiment. Just having the comfort of using your normal mechanical function, not having to reach for that bridge, or in some cases, not even adding the extension.
Yeah, he's going to have to play a little bit of a touchy one here. Don't know how much of the 8 he's getting. Can he just draw a little bit off the 8 and hold for the 6 on the side, kind of where the cue ball's at now? Boy, I'm just watching everyone break so well. Not always getting shots, but just pouring balls in, really.
It's going to be a tight one here, Jeremy.
Yeah, like I said, the hit shouldn't be a problem. Just a little nip to hold for the 6 on the side. You let it turn over a hair, so a little more of a shot maybe. Easy to let up on that a little bit, Mike, just because you don't want the cue ball to double kiss way above the 6, and now you don't have a pocket. So definitely a tester here.
Yeah, it seems like he managed that pretty well. This is the 1. I mean, you make this one. Sometimes there's, that one quote-unquote missable type of shot in a run-out, even when the balls are open. And for me, it was that one right there. And I think smooth sailing. And as predicted, Emil looks like he'll add another to his side. Yeah. A surprising miss there from Felix with that 3 ball in the corner.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, just the contrast in the 2 at the moment is Emil's had a lot of times to make a lot of confident strokes and great shots and good outs, and Felix really hadn't had that, and he had a little bit of an off-angle shot on the 3 with a little distance. Of course, knowing really has to have it, you would feel, trailing 7-2, so everything kind of made sense for the miss we didn't expect.
Perhaps a little added mental pressure there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's part of it, right?
Most definitely. As Emil looks to conquer rack number 10 and extend his lead to 6 games. Looking very confident out there.
Yeah, and things can change quickly. That's why you got to stay focused. But you also have to make that change happen a bit. Felix knows he let one get away. Didn't really let many other get away. I think the safety to open the first rack, that was the only one that I kind of like maybe he could have done something a little different. Other than that, it's just been all Emil.
And there it is. So 8-2 now. 6-game cushion for Emil's side. And you're watching the In the Box Open. Again, we're at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. And we're into our final 16 phase of the event. And the winner of this match, again, will face the winner from Lucas Fracasso-Werner and Nathan Childress. In the same bracket, you have Sergio Rivas, Link Sullivan-Clark, and Simon Corral and Casper Matikainen. On the lower portion of our bracket, Jason Shaw, Conrad Jusijan, Petri Makinen playing Dominic Jastrab, Naoki Oi and Hunter Lombardo. And final match in the bracket, Mieszko Fortunski and Torsten Hallman. Quality play making it through to our final 16 stage. And I'll say it again, you'd be hard-pressed to try to predict the bracket results. But boy, what a quality field. And I'm anxious to see who makes it through to that final position. You know, Emil Gangflot had a nice performance last time in this room. I want to say he was top 5. Not sure his last event, but in this room, definitely was able to perform well.
Well, he's won 1 or 2 of these smaller ranking events before. Can't off the top of my tongue. Top of my head anyways, I can't come with it which ones they were. I know it was one in Europe 2 years ago. But really, I mean, upped his game in every way, really, it looks like.
Yeah, he was talking to me about his training routines, and, you know, he really is just taking care of himself and acting as a true professional, so that's going to do nothing but heed good results.
And the one has been just awesome. Cue ball zigzagging across. Ooh, look at this.
And that's a very interesting result there, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Looked like the cue was going to go on the side. It looked like the 9 might have fallen. Neither finding their way, but that 2 ball is in a tricky spot.
Yeah, very much so. And I don't know if he can get any of it now.
It looks to be he can hit the 2 ball.
Not a bad kick across corner. I mean, not so sure you'd go for that, but you'd like to go for something that has value that without being able to go for anything at all. You know, like if he pushes out to something that isn't that great. He's going to size that up. Couldn't make the 9 off the kick shot. Could easily make the 2.
You know, if that 9 ball was just a bit lower, I think he might even be able to get it going on top of it. You know, kind of double kiss it.
Yeah,
with the
you
cue
never
ball.
know. Yeah, you're going to have to be on top of this. Yeah, I was going to say the 2 was hard to miss if you hit it.
Yeah, it was great execution there. You saw it go just a touch long.
Played it with a lot of control.
Most definitely. He's going to come with another good one here.
Yeah, and what about position? Does he feel good enough to float this to stay on the short side of the pink? It's a little thin for sure, but not too bad actually. You got a long ways you can come up the right side, right? I mean, you can come up past the side a little bit, so you don't have to kill the ball at a real extreme. Just a little bit of rolling with a hair of left English. Key to this is go ahead and commit. Even if you overhit a little bit, you don't want to sacrifice a miss. He decided to go all the way around, and I just think he was playing so good, right? Just go ahead and roll that in. If you get a little on top of it, you may play a kiss on the 9. You can certainly play something.
Well, Felix going to be thrilled to be out of his chair once more. But again, 6-game deficit. But in winter break, I think it's something Felix could manage here. But again, with limited table time, that relationship with the equipment is not quite the same. He's going to have to kind of work himself back into comfort.
And he's a little concerned about the first shot, it looks like.
Going to be going down table here.
Speed much better than last rack. He was off a bit at times.
Yeah, Felix really needs to kind of stay on it this time. If Emil comes with another flurry of 4 or 5 games, this match is over, so he's really got to get onto it. Felix just exploring how he's going to attack that 7 and the 9. It looks like he's made his decisions here. So he wants to go forward here. Doesn't need to go too close to that 5 ball. Using all of the pocket there. And again, not great here. He's going to be conscious about that 7 and the 9 underneath him there. This might just be kind of hunched a bit as he gets down on this. All right, that was a nice recovery there. And he's right back into line. I'm curious if he decided he was going to play the combination or the carom here. He looked at both.
Yeah, I think the combination from where he's at is pretty easy. I don't see the point because you need to draw the ball quite a bit for the kiss shot.
Again, being very conscious. Really just in the way. I'll tell you, the way that 7 and the 9 are sitting, really uncomfortable. So he's actually going to put the extension on.
Yeah, I wonder, is he trying to follow the ball to the side rail to where he can play the chip shot from distance? Otherwise, you feel like he just kind of stop his ball. He's got a little angle there. That's a good look. He can follow. Like I said, could just hold right there for the combo, though, too, which I think is the smart play. Never mind.
I mean, he came all the way back down, Jeremy.
Yeah, he must have felt like there was a lot more cut. It looks like the 9's off the rail piece, though, so.
He cut it a little thin, though. It's close to the rail. He got it. He's got to be thrilled to see that point go up there. Felix going to give John Lehman a head start. Get those balls prepared for him. All right, we got a match here, 8-3. It's really going to come down to the break for me here, Jeremy. I'd like to see Felix, do what he does. I mean, he was breaking real well first 2 days. We haven't seen a lot of it from him just yet. One poor break, and his last break was okay. But really like to see him kind of get on the horse and start riding.
Yeah, I don't know if he can really break him like Emil can, but like I said earlier, it doesn't take that.
You can hear the room kind of buzzing with action.
Yeah, I don't think any matches have completed yet.
I can agree with that. I don't see anybody finished just yet. And we are in the race to 11 portion of the tournament. Remember yesterday we were all races to 9 for the first 2 days. Now in the final 16, races to 11. Everybody really close here. All right, here we go. Felix Vogel is rack 12. See what he can put together here.
Yeah, but just like the last, got a little more into him than he did before.
I'll tell you, Felix's cue ball ends up a lot lower on the table than Emil. That's a big takeaway right off the bat.
Yeah, he's got a shot here. He feels like probably he's got to attack with, trying to find position on the pink. There are some safety options, obviously, but boy, you want to shoot. Can he just level out and come 2 cushions down for the pink in the side? Just go top rail in between the 5-9 to the side rail before the side and just kind of use your speed control.
He's definitely attacking here, but his approach to it still undetermined.
I think it's a high ball.
Something's not really jiving with Mr. Vogel here. I think maybe he's changed his mind at the approach here. He might be stroking through this ball, Jeremy.
Yeah, well, he was looking at stunning 2 rails by the 5, but I mean, you got to get into that ball, and commanding the speed for the pink, I think, is hard. That's why I like Top English. Just use your skills. Yeah, he tried to go around it. That's what he felt like was correct for position, and maybe a little more friendly way to.
Yeah, it's never a good thought process when you're on the fence. Can't really make that decision. And I feel like he kind of shot with haste after he did decide what he was doing there.
Yeah, was it a last minute kind of change of the mind to go ahead and go around the purple? And it was there to get some kind of position.
He was always going to contest with the 9 there, though, coming around the rails. Could have hit the top side. Nonetheless, always going to shoot with your gut. Now, Emil's got the open 3 ball. Not sure if it does pass the 6. Looks like it does, but it is going to be close.
I don't think the pink passes the 6. I don't think so. That's why I think another reason why you saw Felix kind of change his mind. I think it's tight.
Deal with it from there.
Oh,
he's going to play safe now.
Well, that tells you about the pink for sure then.
Well, Felix has to be happy that he can shoot here instead of just watching. But don't know if he can actually get straight to the top rail there naturally. He's looking at 2 rail kick coming out. Bridge necessary.
Yeah, he's going to need some help with the 9. He may get it. Looks like it.
Yeah, nice return there from Felix Vogel.
Does he bank it maybe and try and slide over for the safety, maybe the two-way shot? Kind of like the bank myself, especially with these guys shooting it because they're so good. That's what I was saying earlier. It's not. We talked about the jump cue evolving and how immensely it's become a big part of the game. But I think it's not just pop.
No, this is definitely a shot built for a player like Emil. Again, that height coming in handy. And when he hit that ball very well, but it does look like it's going to leak out, so Felix Vogel with an opportunity here. Still tricky with the 4, though, and I think that's why he played it that way. He wanted to keep the cue ball under the pink.
Oh, 100%. Still not easy. I mean, the 9's kind of covered up coming across, right? Not easy to get good on the pink. Doing that. You can get some kind of shot with the 5 kind of open, but the other way is to draw the ball, so definitely missable. Missed the 3 to that corner earlier.
And does he try to thread the cue ball right between the 9 and the side? And on the back side?
Maybe, yeah. That's what the shot says. I mean, you can get over here, so cue ball than he expected. Now he's a little. Don't think there's a scratch there. I think he's all right. He got back over easily. Did he get snookered? It's close.
It is close.
His hand gesture on the rail there tells me maybe he's snookered.
Yeah. Yeah, his facial expression.
Still a big favorite, I think, but he can stop the ball. He can curve it maybe. He can jump and just stop. Take a long one on the 6.
Well, jump cue it is. See what he delivers here. Very nice. Of those shots for these talented players. Well, tell you what, this is shaping up to be a little bit of a tear back. You know, Emil had a big lead. 6 games, I think, was his biggest lead. Felix able to cut that in half. He can complete this one. He's right back in the line.
Overcome this.
Yeah, Emil was able to come with a 6-game lead. So, claiming this is just 4. Not as devastating. Completes that. Again, I don't see any of these matches completed yet, Jeremy. Do we have a match result just yet? I mean, I see all tables still going.
Yeah, I don't think so.
again, if you're just joining us, you're watching the In the Box Open. And this is a 10K added WNT ranking event. We're live here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. Down to our final 16 players. And this is day 3. I'm Mike DeMarco with Ship to Cash, and joining me, Jeremy Jones. We've got Emil Gangflot, 8-4 ahead of Felix Vogel. Looking to whittle away at that lead from Emil.
Yeah, we had a little bit of introduction and a few photos and whatnot. Started about 12:10 or so, but working on about 90 minutes on this match so far. Now, I do see Hunter Lombardo on the sidelines over there, so I'm assuming his match has been completed.
Yep.
Big time.
Yeah, what a great talent he is. And I don't see Emil at the table here.
He may have taken his time out.
To Raxx. We're in West Hempstead, New York. And if you can't make it down, I encourage that. Plenty of open seats, and it's free to come in and watch. And later on, you can even get on some of these tables. It looks like we are ready to go. As Emil makes his way back to the arena table. All right, here we go. Felix Vogel. This is rack number 13. He's down 8-4.
Yeah, lost one American with Hunter Lombardo. We're going to lose another because Nathan Childress and Lucas Verkasa-Werner. Oh, did he get jammed up there? I think he did, maybe. They're playing each other, so one of those guys got to go. Thorsten Holman's still in action, I believe.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Felix definitely not thrilled about this result, Jeremy. You know, one break, and things can go right back into your opponent's hands, and Felix is going to have to be forced to push out here. I don't see a way to attack here, Jeremy. He's got to push out.
Yeah, you don't want to push out to anything attacking. And push out deep off this rail here. And the thing is, if he gets it back, what's he going to do? Crossing this over, I think, from this angle is not that great. Attacking isn't that great. I don't think the bank is there. The bank's there. You certainly got to shoot it, bring the cue ball back down, but maybe the safety's easier than I think it is, crossing this over.
Yeah, perhaps, but I'm with you, Jeremy. It doesn't look like there's a lot of upside to shooting here. 3-ball is buried.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to cut it in. Sorry, Mike, but I'm just wondering, is the bank really that on? To even double bank it and put it behind the 6 and put the cue ball one rail behind the 3? I just don't know. I think maybe it is because he's not really worried. So he's not really going to threaten making this bank, I don't think, but all about playing the cue ball underneath the 3. Oh, he caught the double kiss. He's going to get away with this big time. He's going to get a snooker even. Wow.
I'll tell you what, when they're rolling your way, sometimes they're really rolling your way. And Emil comes out smelling like a rose.
And that was a double kiss for a couple reasons. If he got thin, he could threaten that scratch in the upper right off the 2 just naturally, and that would have been really catastrophic. But
Felix is going to go with standard one rail here. He's going to try to come across the top side of it, maybe get some separation with the 6. He's not going to get there.
And he's left him a natural to come across, so he should attack here. I mean, not easy natural, but it's, you know, he hasn't got to work the ball too much, I don't think. Just got to avoid the side pocket on the right, plus make a nice 2-ball down the rail. Always think Mike the prettiest shot in pool, going past the side.
It is very nice to see. Got to agree with you there.
And he's overcut it, huh?
Yes, he has. And again, look at the result, though.
Yeah, a little two-way in mind, but if that ball hangs, the jump shot's pretty easy. Just kind of hit both points and got away from the pocket.
I mean, what's Felix's options here? I mean, he just goes soft and spin into it? I mean,
I guess.
if he hits it with any type of pace, he's likely to open up a shot. Don't see many options here.
It'd be a soft masse. Can't see it being hard. Yeah, he's opened it up all right. Cut shot's there now. Of course, Emil's made a few little mistakes, so does he go into the 3 here? Simplify the shot, take your chances.
I mean, he's definitely attacking here. Just got to be mindful of the cue ball.
I think you go into the balls here with that clear side of the table. Just go into the 3. Yeah, he hit the 3 on the wrong side, though.
He's not going to be thrilled about that result, but quick to grab that jump cue. And swift to the table to get over that 7-9. I mean, the good thing about this is it's natural position for the pink and doesn't really need to work the cue ball much. The rest of the table is there for him, so really just jump this in for, you know, control and another point on your side. He's got a little bit of space here to work with. Not a super long jump. See how he does here.
Yeah, just checking some scores. He's overcut it. Is he going to get a little fortunate where the 3 ends up? I think so. A little bit anyways. Looks like Casper's 6 on Corral.
So that was 8-6.
Yeah.
Yeah, still no other match results just yet.
Hard for me not to go for this bank, I'll tell you that. This is just sitting right in front of you. I think he can get at the bank, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hard for me to pass up on this with the pink right there. I mean, this is one I think he's a favorite to make. There are some safeties, of course. But
I mean, there's a chance maybe the 9 ball's holding him back just a touch on the bank shot, but it does look like it can hit most of this ball.
yeah, I don't think it's bad at all.
And it makes me question why he's hesitating right now. Yeah, he's looking at the bank shot. He's there. Oh, he doesn't want to shoot it in.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, he may have given up a sliver of the red here.
think he's given almost the whole ball here.
Yeah. I end up making him go for the bank, really, because the safety here, I know he can hit the right side of it, but it's very touchy. Just chipping that, holding the 3 correctly, coming behind the 7-9 maybe, still giving up a jump into the side. So you may see Emil go for this, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to see him take on the bank shot here. The upside is pretty good, so wouldn't be surprised to see him take a swing here. Yeah, you can kind of see the line he's aiming here. Yeah, he's going to take on this bank shot.
Yeah, I mean, really, you don't want to go down with a bad safety. Oh, I see. Tricky. Getting a little tricky.
You know what? That is just great pool intelligence there, and being able to recognize that that was available. Solved a lot of issues there. I mean, had to throw caution to the wind a little on the result with the cue ball, but I'd say he came out really good here, Jeremy. What a shot.
Yeah, and he's still got to make a decision. Do I want to play short side on the 5 with the 6 a little covered up? Do I want to play the 5-9 combo here in a moment after I knock the 3 and 4 in? So, you know what I mean? Because there is, I mean, you come across for the 5. If you fall a little funny, could end up not easy. You don't want to get over the 9. You're shooting the purple 5 here in a moment. And he's kind of at the point he knows this is a crucial game now after a huge lead, just moments ago. 8-5, I mean, you kind of expect that score line in a match, even if it was 8-1 to start.
Well, we're going to see where his mind is right now. Looks like he is digging a little.
I think the combo's the right shot, but he certainly didn't get where he wanted.
Yeah.
Kiss shot, maybe?
I don't think, just because of where that 9 ball is on the rail, I don't think he's going to go with that. He's just going to shoot the balls outright.
No, he can play it by the 9. Okay, I didn't know that was totally on offer. I guess it is. So now he can come back past the 8 if he wants. He can stay in the middle of the table for the cut shot, kind of where he's at. Probably comes past the 8, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so.
Just the angle he has on the 5 and so close should command the speed very easily.
Just doesn't want to overhit this one.
Oh, boy. I thought he missed it at first.
But he's got a great line at the 6 ball now. That was an easy shot where you could overrun it. Just trying to make sure you get past the 8 ball. Kind of end up 50-50 there, but he came out great.
He's going to get to 9. He's been waiting a moment. Had a few chances to do so. They weren't easy, but no stopping that number now.
Yeah. Emil really just playing solid from the beginning of the match. And, of course, we've been commenting about his break. Flawless for the most part.
It's another match or two that may have finished.
All right, Lucas Fracasso-Werner moves forward over Nathan Childress, 11-7. Well, that's our other match that has been completed. So Lucas will play the winner of this match here between Emil and Felix. And again, Naoki Oi, 11-3 over Hunter Lombardo. And those are the only completed matches at this juncture. I see Sullivan Clark and Sergio Rivas still battling here. Very curious the score on that one, Jeremy. As we mentioned, Sergio taking out, in my opinion, the top seed to Moritz Neuhausen yesterday, a winner's side match. And again, you're watching the In the Box Open. This is a 10K added WNT 9-ball ranking event. We're here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. And I'm Mike DeMarco from Ship the Cash. And joining me is Mr. Jeremy Jones. We're watching a final 16 match between Emil Gangflot, Felix Vogel, with Emil ahead 9-4 and with the break. Remember, final 16 is winner break format as compared to our previous 2 days with alternate break. And Emil really just dominating the match right off the bat. Felix with a bit of a flurry come back, 3 games to make it 9-4 now. But Emil coming out strong there. Let's see if he remembers that very effective break shot he's been delivering all match.
Yeah, and when it was 8-1, Felix needed a little over a 3-to-1 ratio to come back. He got those first 3, but now he has to fade the break shot. And so very good. And cue ball got kissed down a little bit, but the 2 balls coming near it. What kind of kiss on the cue ball is going to happen? Just enough to open up the pocket, maybe? It's close.
Yeah, very close indeed, but it does look like the 2 ball can be back cut to this corner here.
Yeah, cueing's a little awkward, a little thinner than what it appears also. He may be drawn to the 9, or does he have to run the cue ball?
Yeah, fair question there, Jeremy. Tell you, the 2 ball's definitely going to go in the pocket here, but again, the cue ball is the question. Perhaps he can run it to the top rail by the 9. Doesn't look that way, the way the pink is sitting, but I do think there is an avenue there. See where he wants to go with this. Well, perhaps this angle is a bit deceiving, Jeremy. It looks like he can go into this left long rail. If he goes so high, 9 and the purple 5 kind of come into play there, no?
Yeah, but if he gets to where he just hits the 9, that would be okay. If he can get by the 6 and go 2 rails and hit the 9 ball even, that's a shot. You know what I mean? Yeah, like any collision there is still all right. Shot it with a lot of authority as well.
Yeah. Definitely exuding confidence out there today, Jeremy. The break, his runouts. When he gets into trouble, he comes with some nice recovery shots. Hasn't really made a ton of errors here. And he is technically 2 games away. And, you know, Felix making a couple of unforced errors, but, you know, had Emil not kind of dominated the table time, perhaps we'd see something different from Felix, but he did get himself in trouble a few times.
Yeah, and then Emil, this is the shot to get him to the hill if he can gain position. Is there a pocket there? I believe so.
Looks to be the case. Taking all the necessary steps, checking references, etc. As Emil looks to get himself situated on the hill. Just to come out a bit here.
Yeah, you may have to draw back for the 6 on the side. Which is fine. Just to command the speed a little bit. It's such a big open area. If you can get the cue ball off the rail, you feel like it's hard to really make a mistake. End up a bit more short than I thought, so now he's got to think a little bit.
Yeah, cue ball, probably 2 rails and maybe just nudge the 8 ball towards that other corner.
Yeah, I think he'd like to go around it. I think not nudge it at all. I think he can do that with just a little side spin. Probably short of it, which is always the play if you could.
Wow.
Now, he did cheat that to the upper part of the pocket.
Yeah, most definitely. I didn't think that was even an option from that angle. But he's definitely feeling very confident. And he kind of feels unstoppable. All right, we have a match that finished over there. Didn't see who took that one down between Jason and Conrad. And it looks like Conrad, 11-10 over Jason Shaw.
Well, two lefties that have a lot of offense. They got 21 games in as quick as anyone.
Yeah, I mean, they went the full distance. What a result there. Again, 11-10 for Conrad Yosizhin. And Conrad will now play the winner from Petri Makkonen and Dominic Yastreb. And they are still currently doing battle. One of our neighboring tables here. Yeah, I got to make the same comment, Jeremy. I'm looking around the room and looking at how some of these players are breaking. It's remarkable. One ball flies in the side pocket and they're getting a shot. And it just tells you who's putting in the time. You know, the hard work that these players put in.
Yeah, no complaints about the referees this week, that's for sure. They've been great. Who also put in a lot of...
Our featured table referee, Mr. John Lehman. I want to say he's a very household name in the officiating realm of pool. Traveling professional in his own right. And residing here in New York. Hey, here we go. Emil Gangflot on the hill. This is rack number 15. He needs one game. One more game. Felix Vogel fighting to stay in the event.
Yeah, you usually get another chance of some sort, but I'm sure it's going to happen the way he's breaking. I don't really feel like the one's going to be missed. The cue ball's been... Last one was a little low with the cue ball, but mostly it's been going right through the racking area. Not a lot of bend on his cue ball either, which I think is key.
Look at that.
A little bit of arc. Two gonna do. Close. Don't think he can make it. Maybe. Oh, maybe he can. Be able to throw this in.
Yeah, it looks like he does have an option to make the ball. And if that's the case, this could be the final run out here, Jeremy.
Yeah, this could be curtains, as they say. Not taking much time. Doesn't want to push the pink away too much if he has to at all. This is why, because he may have a bad angle on the 3. So now he's got work.
Now perhaps he just rolls forward just a couple of rolls and stays above the pink.
Well, if he can get there to cut it in, that's okay, I think. I mean, he's going to have to turn the cue ball loose, of course, but could just roll and kind of bank the pink away and bury him underneath the purple. That's pretty easy. Guess he's got an angle going away where drawing the ball one rail back is no good, because he can get to the bottom of the cue ball. And he's certainly got the power to do so.
He's definitely got a plan here. Looks like he is going to stay there. He decides to power the ball. Look at this. What a result.
Yeah, he may have to play the 5 up long, but that's okay. Key to this little shot also when you're going forward is it's easy to underhit it. Feel like you're going to follow the ball in, any of that stuff.
It looks like this is kind of the beginning of the end here. Again, just about speed control. Stay underneath the purple. And He's hit that very nicely. It looks as though he's actually gotten on the favorable side of this purple where he can float out towards the center of the table. It's exactly what he was looking to do. Yeah, if he gets on this green 6 here, pretty much done deal. Cue ball needs to slow down. And it looks like he's just fine here. Jeremy, this is looking like this is the end of the road for Felix Vogel as Emil comes into great shape here on the 6 ball. 3 balls away.
Yeah, just the end of this little short road for him, but he'll be playing a lot more pool here soon, Felix, and shake this off. Really just got to tip your hat to Emil.
Yeah, Emil, again, feeling very prepared and ready for this event.
Yeah, felt a little awkward here. Just kind of maybe has to stun draw or comes short side of hair. I think it's just stun draw down the good side of the table. Looks like. Doesn't have to use the rail if he doesn't want to. Oh, he went across. This is heavy. Huh? Checked up nicely. Boy, he moves that ball easily from those small angles. And again, the 8 was a long ways from the side cushion.
Well, there you have it, folks. Emil Gangflot over Felix Vogel. And that is going to conclude our feature match here. We are going to move forward with some more matchups coming up shortly. So don't go too far. And we're going to come back with the conclusion of the In the Box Open here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. So don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Hey, we're back.
Everything that's happened over the last year is going to come to an end. Some team of amateur pool players are about to win $100,000. That's pretty special.
Apron and Southbound are your national champions.
Got so much weight on my shoulders, enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You'll never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts, just beware of a thorn.
Hey, We're back.
Everything that's happened over the last year is going to come to an end. Some team of amateur pool players are about to win $100,000. That's pretty special.
Apron and Southbound are your national champions.
This is George Milbury. George plays in my league. Mike's an 88 player that we're trying to transition to a full player. Strict was my favorite. I was telling you before. Yeah, of course. Thorsten will be here. I got my instructor certification. I help out with the Billiard Education Foundation as part of the National Billiard Congress of America. We help kids, you know. And I asked the guy upstate New York, you know anybody too young? I know the name, yeah. He's one of those master instructors. And I asked him, I said, who do you think fundamentally, mechanically is the best player in the world? Right now, yeah. And then Joe Rogan said it. Joe Rogan said this on a podcast. You're the best in the world right now. Means you're the best pro player ever. Because the game is so evolved. You know? And a lot like guys like Tom, they gain from his era. You know? Tom Alders? Yeah. Well, no, he doesn't want to make sure I'm watched. He does. You know? This guy.
All right, we're underway. Here we go. Second round of our final 16. We're down to the final 8 players. And coming up now, Naoki Oi and Torsten Hallman. Torsten coming off of an 11-9 win over Mieszko Fortunski. And Naoki Oi coming from his win, 11-3 over Hunter Lombardo. You are watching the In the Box Open. And this is a 10K added WNT ranking event. And we're here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. I am Mike DeMarco from Ship the Cash. And I'm here solo dolo to deliver this match for you. We see our on-site official, Mr. John Lehman, New Yorker himself. I'll tell you, both players here looking pretty steady with their previous matches. Looking very good. And we did see top seed Jason Shaw fall to Konrad Yusizhin 11-10 in the previous round. So Jason has been eliminated. All right, Hallman to break. This is rack number 1. Let's see how this man is hitting him. Looking for the one to the side. He's got a good hold of the break, but the 2-ball is not going to cooperate. So likely a push out coming. And don't forget, if you are watching on one of the social platforms, please hit the share button. Let everyone know that they should be watching too. Torsten just double checking his work here. Wants to make sure he doesn't give too much. And he's going to leave Naoki a piece of this blue 2-ball. Naoki is going to accept. Let's see what he's come up with. Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get underneath the green 6. He's not going to get there, so Hallman, first crack with an open shot in rack number 1. Remember, we are racing to 11. This is winter break. Now, the earlier stages of the event was alternate break, days 1 and 2. But final 16, winter break, racing to 11. And I believe the finals will be raced to 13. The same braking format. Torsten needs this to get off the rail. It's not going to cooperate. So he's going to look to just push this in. Don't think he's really going to try to work the ball too much. Just try to get to the right side of the table. Would have been able to get a little more favorable position had he been off the rail. And he doesn't even pocket the pink. A big error in rack number 1 from Torsten Hallman. Now Oy with his first open shot here. And he's been very solid throughout. First portion of the event here. And he's going to look fine here on that purple 5. I'll be honest with you. All of the players in the event, although quite talented, some of them shining through a bit extra. Our previous match, we got to see Emil Gangflot 11-4 over Felix Vogel. Really just dominating that match. Performance mainly with the brake. Really had a nice hold on that. And as we see time and time again, the brake being a very large factor in these matchups. You know, when the balls are open, you know, it's really tough to tell the difference with some of the elites, as most likely they just get out. However, if you can't get that opening shot, can't do your job there. And Naoki looking to be in top form here. Very nice here. Naoki Oy takes rack number 1. And as we look around the room, some of the other matches have completed. We know who our final 8 players are at this point. You have previous match, Sergio Rivas over Sullivan Clark, 11-9. So Sergio Rivas through. Simon Corral over Casper at Tikkanen, 11-10 there. So Sergio playing Simon Corral. We have Emil Gangflot and Lucas Vercasso-Werner through to the final 8. And then also Konrad Yasichin and Petri Makinen. We saw Petri, we mentioned earlier, taking out one of our top seeds, Jason Shaw, 11-10. And Petri Makinen, 11-9 over Dominic Yastreb. And rounding out our top 8, this match right here, Torsten Hallman, Naoki Oy. And of course, our on-site official, Mr. John Lehman, New York native. All right, Naoki to the break. I saw both players practicing the break shot before the match began, both looking pretty good. Of course, Torsten not getting the 2-ball to cooperate in rack 1. And same result here for Naoki. And it seems like both going to have to push out their first inning. Not a lot of great places to push to here. It looks like he's indicating he might push to a jump here. Stay right behind that brown 7. You see Lucas come to visit us on screen. And Lucas taking on Emil Gangflut, who was just on our feature table. Looks like Torsten may take this on. All right, here we go to the air. Torsten Hallman looking for the blue 2. Now, Torsten makes the jump shot, and I'll tell you, he had a little bit of help with the rail, help him elevate, and also helps with some stability. So that was pointing to a helpful situation there, regardless of the jump. So perhaps Torsten can repay the favor. And remember, with winter break, really have to just try to maintain your control of the table. See Petri playing on the neighboring table, taking on Conrad Yasishin. And Torsten coming a little low here. This is still okay. Cue ball coming out just a bit more hot. He may choose to go around the green 6 just for comfort of pocketing the ball. I don't think he's going to want to try to hold this. Yeah, come all the way around. And again, that's really the more comfortable way to pocket that ball. And position did offer itself on that line. Gonna drift down, get underneath this 7. Torsten's gonna come up shy. Tell you what, when he hit that, seemed like he kind of had a jitter in the follow through. Almost like changing his mind mid-stroke. He can't see the edge here, so he might just feather this, trying to come behind the 9. Needs to pick up the speed. I think he's got him. He's got him hooked just a bit. So, tricky position here for Naoki Oi. Let's see what he can come up with here. I mean, when the table is down to the last few balls, you really can't afford to leave the ball out in the open. Less to hide behind and less chances to get fortunate. All right, big jump shot here. So you got a real good hold of the 7. chance to make the jump bank. But Torsten going to have the open shot here. It really just needs to execute here, roll forward. And he's going to do well there. Really nice speed. Doesn't need to get to a rail here. He may swing it off the rail. Yeah, 9-ball going to be deposited in this bottom right. We're going to be tied up 1 game apiece here. And New York fans really appreciating the show being presented here at Raxx. Again, this is the In the Box Open. This is a WNT ranking event. And we're at Raxx, R-A-X-X, and we're in West Hempstead, New York. And I am Mike DeMarco from Ship the Cash, delivering this lovely match for you. Got 2 more rounds coming up after this. Again, we're down to the final 8. Semifinals will be in our next round. And then we move on to our epic final conclusion. Tell you, a big win yesterday, Sergio Rivas over Moritz Neuhausen. That was a big win. And, you know, today we saw another big win for Conrad Yasizhin. Jason Shaw was up 10-9. And Conrad had a little bit of good fortune and good play on top. Ended up edging Jason out. All right, Hallman to the break here. This is rack 3. One ball finds the mark. And this time the 2-ball will cooperate as John Lehman will remove that Tau max rack. Now it looks like he can get it by if he chooses the side, but he's going to go with the corner and just stay above the 3. And that's really the best way to approach that one there. Position was a lot more natural. And he's just going to come with a draw stroke here, get to that top rail right next to the pink 4. Another draw shot coming here. Just needs to get nice on this purple 5-ball. And a little close to his work here, but this is going to come out literally perfect. Straight down to the corner. Just float it over for the green 6. Torsten, always a top competitor. Very educated player. Been on the scene for quite some time, and he's one of those elite players that's really just been able to maintain that high level of play for a number of years. And that was absolutely devastating in this run here from Torsten Hallman. Yeah, he's kind of forced to play this shot here. Just going to thin the 8-ball 2 rails above the 9. Wants to get a lot of distance here. Yeah, the big trick there, you know, he got the distance there, but he hit the 8-ball a lot too fat. And the byproduct of that is the opportunity for Naoki to come with a bank shot if he chooses to do so. When you get the full ball eclipse there, regardless of the distance, you're still going to have to kick or jump. And in this case, Torsten has given Oy a whole 8-ball to shoot at. Now we saw yesterday Moritz Neuhausen leaving an 8-ball in similar fashion, and his opponent just banks it square in the hole.
Guys, if you're in the second chance tournament, please make your way back to table 20 in the back of the room. We're going to do the top run. Please come on over.
Torsten finds his way back to the positive side of things. So 2-1 for Torsten. And again, winner break, our final 16. We are down to just 8 players remaining. Sergio Rivas and Simon Corral. Emil Gangflot, Lucas Fracasso Werner. We have Conrad Yusichin, Petri Makkonen, and Naoki Oy. Torsten Hallman right here on your feature table. So those are your final 8 players. John Lehman, one of the best in the business, and fellow New Yorker. Love having him here. All right, here we go. Hallman to break. This is rack 4, and he's up 2-1. Big break there. Really got a hold of it. And he's going to make a few balls here. 1 and the 2 ball both down. And it appears he does have a nice opening shot here. Got to be mindful with the cue ball. Need to arrive on this pink 4. Just above the 7. And he's under hit this. Well, that was always going to be the case, though. Got to manage that one. It's too tough to hold that ball. You really just got to run it past that 7. Guarantee yourself at least a full hit on that pink 4. What a great jump shot. Great recovery. Torsten Hallman letting you know he is here and he's here to play. It looks like he does have an avenue between the 7 and the 9 up to that purple 5. And if he's got that, it's really just a draw stroke here. I don't think you want to force it forward with the slippery cloth. You could follow it in. And he didn't have enough, apparently. Otherwise, he would have been swinging at that. So into the moving game. looks like Naoki has a plan here. He's kind of winding up like he's got an aggressive shot to shoot here. I mean, if the 5 ball was off the rail just a little, I'd say maybe he would be coming with maybe the aggressive bank shot, but being that close to the rail, that's tough. I mean, he's elevated over the 6. That makes cueing a lot more uncomfortable and less accurate. Well, Naoki Oi swinging for the fences doesn't get it to happen. So it's Torsten Hallman back in control. And he's got a big stroke shot coming here. Looking to draw the cue ball between the 7 and the 9. Don't know if he can hold it on this side of the brown 7. And I'm curious what the miscalculation was there. I mean, that was a big stroke. Got where he needed to be, but lost the accuracy. So another big shot here for the Japanese champion. From one rail straight back across the center of the table, and he's going to miss this purple 5. No one wants to make the 5 ball. Tell you what, though, this is going to be a pretty shot if it's lined the way I think it is. And I do think that Torsten's going to be... Oh, he is going forward. You can see the high cueing. I was expecting maybe a monster draw stroke there, just because you might not be able to cheat the pocket, but Torsten says, I can just play it simply like this. And this is all elementary stuff at this point. Torsten looking very clean out there. A couple of uncharacteristic misses from both players on the 5 ball. But Torsten coming out on top of that exchange. And ultimately going to take a 2-game lead right here at 3-1. You see that little head nod, letting you know he's not thrilled about how he got that win, but definitely going to accept it. Again, down to the final 8 players here at the In the Box Open. This is a WNT 9-ball rankings event. We're here at Raxx, that's R-A-X-X, and we're in West Hempstead, New York. And I am Mike DeMarco from Ship the Cash, delivering these lovely matches, these top-tier professionals. Yeah, lots of tight battles. And I want to say that the opening round today, we had 2 matches go the distance, 11-10, and a couple of 11-9 victories there. Now Lucas Fricasso Werner winning his match 11-7. That was a little bit of a gap. Shows Showing some dominance there. Emil Gangflot over Felix Vogel, 11-4. Another dominant performance there. And Naoki Oi over Hunter Lombardo, 11-3. Gives you an idea of where some of these players are right now. Torsten, just the edge of this 2-ball. I don't think he has enough to play a pocket. He could play it to the top right. But really, I'll be honest though, as we look at this perspective here, he has the ball. He's just trying to manage the cue ball. Maybe just a little check side, come between the 9 and the 6. You'd have to play a combination or defense at that point, but when your back's against the wall, not a ton of options. Got to come with something. This is very much less than ideal, especially the cue ball position close to the rail. All right, he's made his decision. You see him cueing high on the right of the cue ball. And he doesn't want to attack. He's going to try to get right on the back of that 6-ball. He's going to do okay with that. Doesn't really freeze it to the obstruction, but going to be a bit of a headache for Naoki Oi when he returns to the table. And it looks like Oi has gone for the jump cue, so likely going to the air. You know, Jeremy Jones and I were speaking about this earlier with just the technology that's available and the science that's really been injected into the game. And these players are just top tier with these new pieces of equipment, namely the jump cue in this scenario. And this looks to have revealed something for Torsten to shoot at. It appears he can get to the side pocket. And it does offer position on the red 3. It's really all about just execution here, speed control. And he's overcut that one. And I'll be honest with you, the cueing looked a little off as far as the connection with the tip of his cue. Almost looked like partial miscue. Kind of rolled over the top of the ball. But nonetheless, he's going to get good fortune here. So Naoki Oi, again, very tough spot. As you see, Oi measuring his kick out. And this is always tough. You know, you're kicking short distance into the rail. And the object ball you're trying to connect with is not going to be in your vision. You know, the blind kick. You know, you don't have the object ball. Or do you have a pocket visible? Kind of use just what you have in your peripheral to visualize. Let's see if he can make this happen. Looking for the 2 on the side. Very, very quick execution there. And he goes just a hair wide. So Hallman back in control here. Looking to go ahead 4-1. I'll tell you, it looked like he underhit that one a little as well. Seems like when Torsten's playing these very touchy, close positional shots, he's just underhitting just a hair. We've seen him underroll a couple of times so far in this match. Missing position a few times and even hooking himself on an obstruction in one of those instances. Torsten really looking sharp right now. You can tell just body language wise, he's very alert and ready to take on this match. Again, making it to our final 8 players. Torsten hits that one very nicely. One rail shape to get to the 9 here. And he's going to end up perfect on this 9 ball. Take rack number 5, go up 4 games to 1. As Naoki Oi looks on and says, how did I end up here? And he's going to run away. All right, we're going to be right back with more Naoki Oi, Torsten Hallman action. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, we're back.
Everything that's happened over the last year is going to come to an end. Some team of amateur pool players are about to win $100,000. That's pretty special.
Runners Southbound are your national champions.
Got so much weight on my shoulders, enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts, just beware of the thorn.
All right, Torsten back to the table. Let's see what he can deliver. Leading this one 4 games to 1. A couple of missed opportunities from Oi. However, definitely mishitting the break there. And Torsten scratches clean. He says, hey, we're not moving that. Not moving that template. Not happening. So Oi now tasked with figuring out this Rubik's Cube of a rack. And to be fair, this is quite an ugly rack. I do say so myself. Yeah, I mean, he can shoot the one. Yeah, he can shoot the one on the side and get himself somewhere near that blue 2. But, I mean, the rack is... I mean, the 5 and the 6, the purple 5 and green 6, you can carry him off of the purple and make the 6. But still a lot of work to do here, especially these first 3 shots. And he's going to situate himself on a combination here. 2 to the 3. And he says, we can't get that out of there just yet. Too much to move. Balls are frozen. Not going to happen. Very fine execution. 2 drifts slightly down table, and that's going to help. It's going to give him that angle to brush off of that 9-7 and float above the pink 4. That's what he's hoping to see here. Doesn't really want to hit them too full. Just wants to hit the 9 ball slightly. Send the cue ball above it. Yeah, and he's going to hit it a little thick. Rack is going to be able to get cleared now. But not ideal, so likely going to put the cue ball under the 6 and the 5. Try to get it really nestled up tight in there. I wanted it to open up just a hair more. I would have eliminated this 1 rail kick option. But nonetheless, Hallman's still in a tough spot. Well, you got to like him to hit the ball at least. And it looks like Torsten's going to entertain a 2 rail kick behind that pink. It's a tricky shot to gauge. You know, hitting into that cloth could open up. Yeah, he ended up hitting it just 1 rail, and I'll tell you the result isn't going to be great. Naoki does have open shot here. And, you know, the rack opened up a little bit more. Naoki did a little bit of that work for us. Again, this has come out great. So Naoki Oi now with the go-ahead. You know, earlier in the rack, a lot of traffic and a lot of things to figure out, but now at this point, Naoki slightly over-rolling position on that 7. Nothing he can't handle. He would have liked to have stayed above it. And he's just going to bump it. Going to be playing what looks to be 1 rail shape for the 9 on the side. And he's going to underhit it, so he's going to be going to the corner here now. I guess that's a benefit of playing the shot in that manner. You know, underhitting it, you can always go to the corner. Brushes its feet on the way in, but it does fall. So 4-2 now. Torsten Hallman still leading. As the New York crowd gathers here at Raxx in West Hempstead for the In the Box Open. And again, this is a WNT points event. And down to our final 8 players. And around the room playing right now, Sergio Rivas and Simon Corral. Got Emil Gangflot and Lucas Fracasso-Werner. Konrad Yasizhin, Petri Makinen. And our feature match here, Naoki Oi, Torsten Hallman. So plenty of top-tier talent. And again, if you're in the New York area, come on over and enjoy some of these matches firsthand. Come grab yourself a seat on the rail. I'll tell you, the food here at Raxx is wonderful. And if you don't believe me, I'll tell you, you can ask any of the folks here. My favorite, that noodle dish. All right, here we go. Naoki Oi, this is rack 7, and he's down 4-2. Tell you what, that purple 5-ball saving the cue ball. It looks, cue ball was tracking straight at the side pocket. Naoki perhaps entertaining a bank on the 2. One rail carom into the 9. Feel like that shot is available. Now, if he feels confident with it, I feel like you got to shoot it. I mean, it's an all-in kind of shot, though. Can't really play that in a two-way manner. Have to go all in on it. So if he does end up shooting something like that, it's all in, do or die. And I don't know if he's going to take it on. Super thin. Oh, man, look at this roll. And then another one right after it. Oh, boy. Good fortune turned into misfortune in the blink of an eye. Naoki Oi fires the 2-ball in the side and then grazes into the point of the side pocket after what looked to be a fortunate bump there. He's going to roll right into position for that red 3-ball, and he ends up hooked right behind the 8 and the 6. So kick shot coming up. He wants to hit the rail right before the 3. You see him indicating right there. And what that's going to do is it's going to send the cue ball up table and create some separation. And in the event that he does pocket the 3-ball, you can still see that pink 4-ball. Let's see how this is going to roll for him. He's going to get Torsten jacked up on the 9-ball. And Torsten not able to complete the task there. Yeah, being jacked up over a ball or on the rooftop, as some might say, one of the toughest shots in pool, as noted by some of the world's greatest. And Oi contemplating be a possible combination here. And he's cueing at it like he wants to shoot it. The alternative, going to just play the cue ball up table And I feel like you have to shoot this. And that was, I guess, a reasonable play there, playing the 3-ball outright. But I feel like he could have played a similar shot with the combination. The 3-ball probably would be on the bottom rail right now. I'm curious why he might not have taken that on, but that's why he's at the table. We're back here. You know, Torsten doesn't have a lot of space behind this 9-ball. Just got to make sure he hits it really thick, right in the face, where that cue ball could trickle into the pocket. I'd say he got a hold of it well, but ended up double-clicking and opening up now. Now, 3-ball can go straight in the side pocket. Don't know how he feels about this one. A lot of body movement on the follow-through there. Naoki kind of launching himself up as he followed through, but he comes out perfect. Or as close to perfect as he needs to be. Pink 4 does go to the top left corner, so not really much to figure out here. 6 passes the 9. So as I like to say, this is kind of the last, missable shot. And he uses all of that pocket. To be fair, though, a lot of the times you see a top player play a shot like that. They kind of play knowing full well that the pocket will accept that type of shot, so they're not really mishit. They would play it in a different manner. But Oi answering back here as he picks up the pace with these final few balls. And the only stripe on the table gets deposited right there. 4-3 now. And Torsten still ahead. And don't forget, this is winner break. Winner break. So Naoki can really try to just hang on and keep Torsten in his chair. We saw that earlier in previous match. Was Emil Gangflot, Felix Vogel, and Emil had Felix in his chair. I want to say he hit him with a 5-pack, somewhere in that range, but had an 8-2 lead at one point. Felix put a little flurry together, but ultimately 11-4 for Emil. But it really came down to that break, and Emil really just keeping his opponent in the chair, not allowing them to get up and answer back. And it's really what you'd want to see for your opponent. You want to get good results, keep them in the chair. Can't do any damage from there. And again, our on-site official, Mr. John Lehman. Oh, he's a true professional. All right, looks like we're set to break rack number 8. Torsten Hallman still leading 4-3. Boy, to break. Big break there. Really got a hold of that one. Flies into the side pocket. 2 balls still available. I'd say the cue ball is going to be a little tricky, though. Doesn't seem like even a big stroke can help with this one here. A lot of traffic and not really the ideal angle to get up table. And boy, going to have the cue ball cleaned. I think he's got something in mind. Just wants to make sure he's going to have the best go at it. So it looks like what's going to happen here is always going to play the 2 to the side pocket. But what he's going to do with the cue ball is just roll past the pink and the purple. Yeah, and he can see the 3 ball to the top right corner now. Nice controlled shot. You know, at this level of play, you know, players can definitely accept longer, more difficult shots. Don't really need to be right on top of it. And when it wiggles its way in. Yeah, I'm very surprised at that shot there. I mean, that was a really big swing. Definitely seemed like he overhit that one quite a bit as well. Nonetheless, Hallman going to gladly accept. Looks like defense maybe. Getting on the 6 ball. What a risky shot. I mean, I'll tell you, it'd be crazy to think that Naoki Oi is not going to jump at this 4-9. Absolute must. He's got a chance to win the game in one shot. Got to do it. Got to take a swing. And he's just double checking how he wants to go into that pink 4 ball. He hits it just a bit too thick. So Hallman back into control here. A little tricky here with the cue ball. Just needs to navigate between the 5 and the 6 here. Very nice. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room there. It's a very precise cueing from Hallman. And you can see the haste in Hallman picking up the pace. Really anxious to put up another point. Trying to extend his lead. Hallman been leading the whole match. And really hanging on the best way he knows how. Just keep delivering high quality shots. Keep that mind at ease. Hallman sends that cue ball all the way around the rails to arrive very nicely on this final 9 ball. And there we are, 5-3 now for Hallman. New York crowd showing some love. Again, if you guys are watching on any of the social platforms, please make sure to hit that share button. Let everybody enjoy these matches. And make sure that on those platforms you hit that subscribe button. It's free. And watch all of these matches. Get your notifications when we go live. Again, right now you should be able to view us on Ship to Cash YouTube, Facebook, also the In the Box Facebook, Argentina, and also WNT TV. So lots of options. Make sure you support those pages and let them know you want to see more content like this. Of course, want to thank all of the sponsors making events like this possible. All right, here we go. All right, rack 9, Hallman in the lead, 5-3. Sweat the break. Monster break. Looked like he made 11 balls out of 9 there. But of course, going to have a nice open shot here on the 1. It's not really a repeatable break that we'll see very often with this type of result. But nonetheless, really got a hold of those. Needs his cue ball to pick up speed. It's not going to get there. I don't want to say he is out of line, but just slightly less than ideal. He can just draw this out, 1 rail. I'm looking at Emil Gangflot and Lucas Fracasso-Werner on this neighboring match table. And somebody is up 5-1. Don't know who that is just yet, but sure, I'll give you an update. Big stroke here. Really needs that to come across. And he's going to be shy from perfect, but again, very manageable. Going to run the cue ball around the rails just a touch. And he's missed the 9 ball. That's a big, big mistake. 6-3 to 5-4. Huge swing there. Very, very pivotal moment in this matchup. Naoki Oi gladly will accept. Go from a 3-game deficit now to a 1-game, and he misses it as well. What is going on right now? Both players missing the open 9 ball, and Torsten gladly accepts. 6-3. What did we just witness, folks? What did we just see? That was completely unexpected and frankly uncalled for. The push and pull in that last rack. You know, and it's kind of reminiscent of the same exact scenario that happened just a few racks ago with the purple 5-ball. Hallman misses, Oy misses, and then Hallman takes it down. A lot of trivial exchanges going on in our final 8 matchup here. And this is the In the Box Open WNT points ranking event. And we're here at Raxx in West Hempstead, New York. That's RAXX. And I am Mike DeMarco from Ship the Cash. And don't forget, we've got 2 more great rounds of play coming up. And really excited to see where we end up with our final 2 players. I'll tell you, whoever makes it there definitely going to earn that spot. You know, when you have a world-class field like we do here, very, very tough to choose a winner right off the bat. Early exit for one of the favorites, Mr. Moritz Neuhausen. Falling to Sergio Rivas yesterday on the winner's side match. And in the loser's qualification, he fell to Dominic Yastrab. Both very tough losses there. Moritz playing very well. Caught the worst of it, some of those exchanges, but nonetheless, his opponents played well. In a similar fashion, Jason Shaw exiting today in the final 16 players, falling 11-10 to Conrad Yusichin. Jason Shaw makes an early exit. Yeah, it's really crazy how some players, you know, you see the matchup, you know how great these players are, and it's just one of these players has to lose. And in this case, right now, Torsten Hallman leading 6-3 over another one of our top seeds, Naoki Oi. And I'll tell you, he did not want that 1 ball to fall. Just about halfway through this final 8 match here. Again, racing to 11. Yeah, big mistake there again from Hallman, following the 1 ball in. Just a little heavy-handed. And is going to be wide open now. And Oy has made his decision here. Not sure if he can pinch it and hold it. Yeah. The 8 ball or receiving. Putting some pound in this rack. And this will put now in a, it's like it's going to do defense. Just meters. Bit of that would 3